Now, what was your first job with the district?
I worked for two men. I worked for Dr. Ken Willis and Mr. Jonathan Moultrie. They were director. Mr. Moultrie was the director of secondary education, and Dr. Willis was the director of elementary education. Then the job formed into one, and I worked for Mr. Jonathan Moultrie, and later down he became the deputy superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for him for many years. And after that, I went downtown and we merged, not downtown, but we merged over to Bynum.
You started, when you started in 1979, the school district office was on Front Street
It was.
and a little like White House, sort of across from the Georgetown Times,
Right, we called it the White House.
the White House. And once you outgrew that, you went to the Bynum Center, which is where the
Correct.
sheriff's office is now.
That's right.
How long were you at the White House before you went to the Bynum Center?
Not a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
because then they renovated J.B. Beck. And I'll never forget that. That was an exciting moment, and we all moved over here. When I was downtown in the White House, I worked for Dr. Chuck Gaston. I was his secretary, and then I became secretary for the board.
Between 1979 and 2021, you've seen a lot of changes.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the most, some of the biggest changes that you've had to learn over the years?
I think when technology kicked in, technology became a very important aspect in education. Before, everything was kind of manually done. Some of it went electric, but it was quite a challenge going to technology.
Mhm.
And we all loved it once it started happening. But that was a big key in it. Education, I always have said that it's kind of like a merry-go-round. What goes around comes back around, but only the names change.
As the secretary to the board, you're sort of the liaison, so to speak, between the board and the public.
Right.
You've had to answer the phone a lot of times, and I'm sure on the other end of the line, it was somebody unhappy with something. So how did you deal with that over the years, dealing with people, upset or concerned or whatever about things going on with the school board that you had to take the phone calls for? How'd you handle that over the years?
Well, I look at it this way, and this is the way I was taught. I had a lot of great mentors when I went to work in the district. I had some of my bosses were super mentors, and they taught me a lot about life and about people, and especially children. Everybody's problem, no matter how small or how large, is important to them. And I think you have to realize that no matter how silly it might seem for somebody calling in, their problem is huge to them. And I think the key to it is listening and understanding, and letting them know you understand.
But it takes a special person, and you've been able to do this job for so long because I know your personality. I've never seen you upset. So sometimes when you're on the other end of that phone and somebody's yelling and screaming about something the board did, I mean, how are you able to maintain your cool?
You just do it.
Yeah.
Because they're people, and they have feelings, and they really don't mean it. A lot of times they just need to exert, and 9 out of 10 they will apologize and say, I'm sorry.
Now, how long ago did you decide that this was going to be, your final year?
Well, the district has been gracious to me. I retired years ago, and I came back on board. And they've allowed me to work for a long time, and I'm very gracious and thankful for that.
So, I mean, did you make the decision recently, or?
It was decided that it was time.
And dealing with the last year, was that the most difficult of your career, dealing with the COVID year?
Not really. It was difficult because we had to do things in a different way, but there again, it's always that challenge of being able to accomplish it.
Mm-hmm. But you did have a period where you had to deal with doing Zoom meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the school board didn't do it as long as other places, but
Yeah.
Was that a difficult thing to get adjusted to?
After you kind of got into it, it was fine.
Yeah,
It was fine.
yeah. Why'd you stay this long? What was it about the job that you liked so much?
I love working with the people. I like a challenge. I don't know. It becomes part of your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I like staying at home. I spend a lot of time with my family, and we do a lot of things together. But I don't know. It just had a special part in my heart, and really hard to let go.
I mean, you said you retired before and you came back. I mean, was that a hard decision to make, or did you say, "Hey, I just got to get back in there"?
I came back immediately.
Oh, okay. You did. You knew you wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people did that, and a lot of people have
Yeah.
done the Terry program.
Yeah.
So of course I got to ask, what are you going to miss the most?
Probably the most is my board members and my coworkers. I can honestly say I have never worked for one supervisor, one superintendent, or one board member that I haven't really thought the world of, and coworkers as well. People are so interesting, and I love the different personalities.
Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I would like to express my deepest thanks to the Georgetown County School District for allowing me to serve for so many years, and I would like to tell them how much I have really enjoyed it, and how much I've enjoyed each one of the employees and working with a lot of the principals and stuff in the schools. I don't think there's anybody I could ever say in this district that I haven't enjoyed. They've all been wonderful to work with. And it's been a challenge, but a good one.